Booz Allen Hamilton. A fun name to say, but what does it mean? Who are they as a firm? And why would you, as an aspiring consultant, want to work there? Or you, as somebody who's looking for services, be interested in hiring a company like Booz Allen Hamilton? I'm Jenny Ray LaRue, the Managing Director of Management Consulted, and I'm here today to talk about one of the most incredible firms that a lot of people don't know about inside the consulting industry. Booz Allen Hamilton is a firm that originally had two different arms. One focused on government consulting and the other focused on corporate consulting. And in 2008, in the midst of the downturn, they spun off the arm that was focused on the corporate consulting into Booz & Company, which later rebranded as Strategy after it was acquired by PwC. And what was left was this behemoth in the federal consulting space, Booz Allen Hamilton. Booz is a multinational firm with 20,000 plus employees, so massive on the scale of consulting firms. In comparison, it's of a similar size to the Deloitte consulting practice within inside Deloitte. So it's a huge global practice. And the focus of everyone inside the organization is on federal consulting. Booz Allen Hamilton is a firm with a lot of tenure, really strong and proud culture, and a focus on improving the quality and experience and expenditures of federal and other government agencies. Booz Allen Hamilton is a really incredible place to work if you are in particular interested in politics, if you're interested in operating on the cost side. A lot of what they do is very set by budgets, which are revenue oriented. So the focus of their organizations is how to best deploy. The focus is on delivery. So for example, you have an organization that does everything on paper. How do you digitize it? You have an organization that meets the needs of 40% of its constituents. How do you ensure that it meets the needs of 60% of the constituents or more? And you develop game plans and transition plans and organizational designs to really shift the cost, where it's spent, and what the effectiveness is of it over time. On the other side, there are potentially some reasons why you might not want to work for Booz Allen Hamilton. First of all, if you're interested in corporate consulting, Booz Allen Hamilton is not going to be the place for you because corporates do not really consider migrating from the federal sector over to corporate to be a feasible jump. So you're setting yourself in a place where you're looking at federal roles internally as primary exit opportunities, or just networking, just hitting the streets and finding people and convincing them that the skills that you've built are relevant. But in general, the value of a corporate consulting environment for what you learn in federal consulting is not super high. The second thing is if you actually on the job want to be focused on for-profit work. So here you have a very triple bottom line focus. So you've got the bottom line, which is that you have to make the budgets match. And you have the secondary bottom line, which is that you have to accomplish the services that you were thinking about. And the third is that you have additional metrics that you're thinking about as well. So you're thinking about serving the broader good, serving your constituents, and also making sure that your budgets match. So you have multiple things to think about, which is very different than what you would do in the corporate world. And finally, Booz Allen Hamilton, because it is focused on the federal agency, tends to be more staid, more focused on long-standing tenure, and less focused on hyperbolic performance increase like you would find inside a lot of the corporate consulting firms. However, if you are thinking about federal consulting, I think that a place like Booz Allen Hamilton versus a practice area of federal consulting inside one of the larger firms like McKinsey Federal or Deloitte Federal is attractive. And here's why. Everyone is very clear about what you're doing. You sell the most projects out of any of those different organizations. You have therefore dominant position in the market, and the knowledge sharing that happens across the sector is incredibly powerful. If, however, you want to hedge a little bit and shift, instead of focusing on just the federal sector and leave the options open for corporate later, working for an alternative practice like a federal practice inside one of the other firms would be preferable. Overall, Overall, Booz Allen Hamilton is a place that we help multiple people get into every year. Some of them are in school in DC, undergrad, master's, PhD, or MBAs, and others are coming from outside the Washington, DC area where Booz is the most active in hiring. Booz does, however, have multiple different offices across the United States as well as internationally, so you have a lot of choices. If you'd like to learn more about how to apply to and get jobs at Booz Allen Hamilton, we'd love to share more, and you can reach us at managementconsultant.com or on social.